This video has been 3 months in the making and I'm really glad I did it, but I'm also very glad that it is over now. So what has been going on? For the last 12 weeks, I have been doing The Artist's Way. Now, this is a book that I've seen recommended by productivity hustle bros and then also woo-woo spiritual hippies. And so if anything can appeal to that broad spectrum of people, that sparked my interest. I'm like, what is going on here? That is interesting to me. So what is The Artist's Way? This is a book by Julia Cameron and it is a 12-week guided creativity course program thing. It's designed to help with creative block or just unlock your creative capacity in life. As I mentioned, it's 12 weeks and each week involves activities, tasks, creative practices, and also reading the essays in the book itself. I thought it would be fun to document my experience of doing The Artist's Way, and so without further ado, let's cut to Hannah on the eve of embarking on this quest. So it is New Year's Eve 2023 and tomorrow I am going to be starting The Artist's Way, a spiritual path to higher creativity by Julia Cameron. So I wanted to start tomorrow on the 1st of January because one, that's nice, first of the year, new project, let's go. Also, tomorrow is a Monday, so that is very satisfying to my brain that it's also the start of the week and this goes through in weeks. The other reason why I'm like starting tomorrow, 1st of Jan, instead of say like the 8th of January to give myself like a bit of a warm-up is because my sister-in-law and video editor informed me, because she's done this before, she said that there is a week of reading deprivation, and this is basically where you don't allow yourself like any creative input, like no watching things, reading things, like no social media, like that kind of thing. And I was like, oh shit, wasn't aware of that. And you will have seen this already, but I'm planning on filming a birthday month reading vlog and my birthday's in February. So I need to do my reading deprivation week before February. So we have to start on the 1st. This is the only way it makes sense. So that's like specifically why I'm starting tomorrow, but why am I doing this at all? You might be wondering. It just felt like the time is right. I did my big quit at the end of last year. I'm gonna have some more free time at the beginning of this year. I've heard about this book many, many times and I've always been curious about it, and I just figured if I'm ever gonna do it, now is my chance. So I'm taking that chance. I am taking that opportunity, but oh my goodness, 12 weeks is a long time. So far I've read the preface, the introduction, the basic tools, and the like how to use this book. And then tonight, at some point, because side note, Rowan was up all night last night throwing up, and Dan and I are both incredibly tired and have a sick baby to look after. So hopefully at some point I will get a chance to read the chapter for week 1 this evening, and then I can crack on with it all tomorrow, still with a sick child in tow. The timings aren't great, but I figured if I put things off or if I think of reasons to not do it, then I won't do it. And this whole project, for me at least, is not going to be about perfectionism. It's just going to be about getting it done, and definitely not perfectly. So as the title says, it's a spiritual path to higher creativity, and I'm someone who the like spiritual God talk doesn't resonate, but there is a bit in the introduction where she talks about that and kind of like how you can substitute whatever you want for whenever she's like mentioning God or a creator, a higher power kind of thing as it pertains to creativity. And whilst every so often I do gonna go, I just need to like push through that resistance in order to get to the value of this book for me. But in terms of the things that I have to do, the basic tools, there are 2 of them. You may have heard of these things without knowing that they come from this book, because this book is so famous. And they are morning pages and the artist date. So morning pages is a handwritten stream of consciousness, 3 pages of A4 that you write first thing in the morning. I have my book. I figured in order to also fight the perfectionism, I just got the most basic ass, not aesthetically pleasing at all, ringed A4 notebook. I'm kind of worried about that because they are supposed to be done in the morning first thing, just to kind of like brain dump your stream of consciousness. But the way that my mornings work is I usually wake up next to Rowan, by Rowan who needs to breastfeed, and then as soon as he's awake, then like we're all go getting ready until we're out the door to go to his childminders. And so it's like, do I do the morning pages when I get back, but then I'm like in work mode and the day's already begun? Do I do them in the evening before I go to bed? That's a possibility. Or do I wake up a bit earlier? I don't know. I'm gonna see how it goes. I'll probably end up trying a few different ways of doing it. I've got 12 weeks to figure out what works best for me. But the like pure form of morning pages is like first thing in the morning. I did actually write 3 pages of A4 yesterday in here and timed myself just so I could figure out how long I need to account for, and it took me about 20 minutes. So that's not too bad. The second thing is artist dates, and this is a solo date that you take yourself on. No, you take your artist self on, and you have to do that once a week. And this one's going to be interesting for me because realistically only be able to be things that I can do in the middle of the day. I would love to take myself out to the theatre in the evenings on a solo date, and I may get one of them in during this 12 weeks, but realistically we're thinking like things that I can do in 2 hours in the afternoon at home or near home. But I only need to come up with 12 of them, and I'm already starting a list. So the other thing that came up in the intro that I was like, oh shit, what have I signed up for, is that she mentions that you should dedicate around 7 to 10 hours per week on this thing, about an hour a day. And I was like, wasn't expecting that. But if you count morning pages, artist date, reading each chapter, doing the check-in, and then there's like tasks, I can see. We'll see. One thing that confirmed for me that this is absolutely the right thing that I need to be doing right now is that in the intro there was literally a section called Filling the Well, Stocking the Pond, and I talked about endlessly in the reasons why I quit doing the sex ed online content is because I needed to refill my well. And I was like, oh my God, Julia. And this was an interesting quote. She said, do not do what you should do. Spiritual sit-ups, like reading a dull but recommended critical text. Do what intrigues you. Explore what interests you. Think mystery, not mastery. And I felt very pulled out for a lot of the struggles I was having with my career before. And I seemed to have come to that conclusion on my own, but it felt good seeing it there on the page. The other funny thing that I wanted to tell you about is that at the end, there's like this little contract that you sign and make with yourself, like committing to this 12-week program. And this bit that made me despair is, I, Hannah, commit myself to excellent self-care, adequate sleep, diet, exercise, and pampering for the duration of the course. I'm fairly good at self-care, but I just thought it was kind of hilarious, the adequate sleep thing, especially when I'm starting this on absolutely no sleep because of an ill toddler. Like, there are things that are out of my control, Julia. It is interesting reading this intro and feeling myself go, well, that doesn't apply to me because I'm a parent of a toddler. Well, that doesn't apply to me because I'm breastfeeding. Well, that doesn't apply to me because this is my situation. And maybe that is just me resisting it, or maybe there is actually something there because there are certain things in people's lives, whether it be health or caring responsibilities, that do make undertaking things like this less accessible. I don't know, you tell me. But yes, I'm very excited to dive into this. I'm going to hopefully get a chance to read the first chapter today, before tomorrow at least. And the other really fun thing is that I mentioned in my Patreon Discord server that I was doing this, and a few other people were keen to join along. And so we've got a little thread in there that we are using to post updates or like help each other out with tasks or morning pages or whatever it might be, or just venting about the reading deprivation week. So yeah, that's fun. I maybe would sound more excited if I got proper sleep last night, but I did not, alas. Okay, let's do this. Hello, me again, here to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for creators, freelancers, and entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Perhaps you are an artist, a creative, an entrepreneur of sorts, and you want to get yourself a lovely website to show off your work, your portfolio to the world and connect with your audience and potential clients. Well, I've been using Squarespace for years. They are a super easy, intuitive, beautiful website design platform. They have tons of templates to choose from, and you just pick the best one for you, and then you can customize it really easily with all of your own branding and content and assets. Those lovely personal assets. Squarespace's Fluid Engine website design system is so easy to use and so powerful, allowing you to drag and drop things. And it means that even if you have zero website design experience, you can create a beautiful site for your work, so you can just concentrate on your business, being creative in the way that you are without having to learn a whole new skill in website coding. Great, love that. If you are a creative or a business that sells physical or digital products or services, then Squarespace also allows you to have an online store where everything is taken care of, front and back end seamlessly integrated. So if you want to create your own website to show off your work or your business, whatever it may be, then head to squarespace.com to start your free trial, and then when you are ready to launch into the world, go to squarespace.com/morehannah or use my code morehannah when you check out to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and now on with my epic creative quest. Hi. I caught Rowan's stomach bug, but I'm now better. I have been doing my morning pages but we haven't had a normal morning yet. So I'll be interested to see how that routine manifests. But I have scheduled some time this afternoon for my artist date. I needed something that was gonna be not a lot of time at home and easy to do, because whilst I am definitely better, I'm still not 100%. I'm tired and recovering from a nasty bug. So we needed something chill. Also, two birds, one stone. One sec. Where's my book? Where's the book? Here it is. So, one of the tasks this week. Imaginary lives. If you had 5 other lives to lead, what would you do in each of them? I would be a pilot, a cowhand, a physicist, a psychic, a monk. You might be a scuba diver, a cop, a writer of children's books, a football player, a belly dancer, a painter, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, the task is, whatever occurs to you, jot it down. Do not overthink this exercise. So I have a whole list of like all of the careers, all of the different things that I've always wanted to be over my life, or just like anytime a random thought has come to my mind. Oh wait, I didn't write down like a landlady. Like, and by a landlady, I don't mean like somebody who owns property and rents it out. I mean like of a pub, like running a pub. That's another one. Anyway, the point in these lives is to have fun in them, more fun than you might be having in this one. Look over your list and select one. Then do it this week. For instance, if you put down country singer, can you pick a guitar? I didn't put down country singer, but I did put down singer. So, and then if you dream of being a cowhand, what about some horseback riding? I did not dream of being a cowhand. I am scared of horses. But I thought this was a perfect opportunity to bust out Dan's guitar. I taught myself guitar when I was like 15, 16 years old. I can do one basic strumming pattern, and there were a few songs that I was obsessed with around that age that I learned the like tab, like the picking to. I only really learned guitar so that I could accompany myself singing and be less annoying to the people around me. That was my main reason. But recently, I was feeling this real urge to relearn Ghost Town by First Aid Kit, which is my favorite song of all time. And I used to be able to play it, albeit not without the music. Like I have to read the music and play it at the same time. I cannot do it by memory, but I've completely forgotten it now. Like it would take relearning to even like be able to play it in time and sing along. And then I had the guitar out the other day whilst I was looking after Rowan, and I had the tab up on my phone and I tried playing it, but Rowan just kept requesting Jingle Bells. So I didn't really get a chance to dive into that, but I've got time this afternoon. I've given myself time. I'm literally just gonna sit here and like try and learn this song, and it feels really good. I mean, I do have obligations. In 3 hours, I need to go pick up Rowan. But in 3 hours, I'm not gonna be doing this for 3 hours, maybe an hour. Feels good. Feels good. Right, ultimate guitar, baby. When was the last time I was on ultimate guitar? Ultimate guitar. Right, we want First Aid Kit Ghost Town. Oh my God. Also, is this guitar in tune? I am not a musician. Although, I mean, that sounds fine to me, but I remember Dan saying the other day that he tuned the guitar in a different key. So it might be in the completely wrong key. Is this the same one? that I learned. God, when would I have done this? 20 years ago? No, how old am I? No, fuck, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Somewhere between 10 and 15 years ago. How old is this song? That will give us an idea. This song, such a good song. The music video, 13 years ago. There we go, boom. Okay, fuck, right, let's do this. Right, what do these numbers mean? Right, I might be saying this in completely wrong key. Right, so that 1 means that, 2 means that. All of these ghost towns I keep. Oh shit, then we got it down here. Traveling. Oh, I don't like using my little finger. Oh, the nails are too long. Okay, let's do this. This is gonna take a fucking while. All of these ghost towns I keep traveling through. All of these traffic signs and lonesome bars, blindsiding me to you, and I swear I can be better. I think my aim for the end of this is not perfectly, but just to play it the whole way through. Like at one point, I just want to be able to play it the whole way through, messing up as we go, doesn't have to be in perfect time. I want to get the whole way through this song. That's what I'm gonna do. All of these ghost towns I keep traveling through. All of these traffic signs and lonesome bars, blindsiding me to you, and you've got visions of the past, let them follow you down, for they'll come back to you someday. Okay, the blasts from the past are fun, but I figured First Aid Kit have released many albums in the past 13 years. And so What on Ultimate Guitar is here from their latest album, Palomino. And I've seen there's some chords from Out of My Head, which is one of my favorite songs on that album. And this is gonna be so horrendous, but it's gonna be so fun because I'm not gonna do any like actual strumming. I'm just gonna be like, I'm getting these nails taken off tomorrow. Well, I can't do bar chords. Also, maybe this is an excuse. Maybe this is me resisting my own creativity, but I just don't think I've got big enough hands to play guitar. Everything is such a stretch. But like, is there a standard size for guitars? Because this is dance guitar and everything is too hard and difficult on this for me. I'm like, I want nice soft strings and smaller this handle? No. Anyway, right, let's do this. Back in time, oh, I go wandering through the rooms of my mind. Just imagine I'm really drunk at a family gathering. That, I feel like, is the context for this. Okay. Back in time, oh, I go wandering through the rooms of my mind. Every door that I've been closing, all the people that I have let down on a river. I'm floating down the stream and back again like a beggar on my knees. Am I running out of time? Stuck inside. Stuck inside. Oh my god, I'm ill, remember. Stuck inside my dreaming, follow me. No, it needs way more. It's such a but stuck inside my dreaming, follow behind, running all alone, doesn't matter now. Okay, do you know what? I'm gonna stop butchering the songs of my favourite band. This has been fun. Alright lads, so we are in week 2 of The Artist's Way. I'm still doing my morning pages. I've done them every day. It's tricky with Rowan. I think the most likely thing is that most of the time I will do them when I get back from dropping him off before I start work. But that feels frustrating to me because I'm like writing them. I'm just like, I just want to start doing work. But I've also had some success doing them before Rowan wakes up and I'm like there, like lying in bed next to him, like writing them by phone light, trying not to wake him up. But it's tricky because if I want to do morning pages in their purest form, like wake up, stream of consciousness, like first thing in the morning, then I have to wake up earlier. But I also signed a contract saying that I would get adequate sleep. So which is more important, Julia? Tell me that. But they're fine. Like, I don't really feel like I'm getting much out of them at the moment. We'll see as things progress. I don't know if I'm like using it a bit too much like a diary. I'm just like talking about Rowan constantly. I'm like, Rowan's doing this and Rowan's doing this and isn't Rowan great? But I think one of my biggest challenges with morning pages is going to be Fridays, because Friday is a normal day for Dan. He gets up and goes to work, but I have a full day with Rowan. So when do I do morning pages? During his nap? In the middle of the day? I don't know. I can't even remember what I did this Friday. I think Dan was working from home, and so I managed to like sneak it in. But I think I did my morning pages in like 4 different chunks rather than like one stream of consciousness. So whatever. Apparently there's no wrong way to do morning pages, and I'm just sticking with that. So week 1 went fine, considering that I was ill, Rowan was ill, and Dan was ill. Like, we were all ill. I did some of the tasks, which were really fun, although I misread some of them and I ended up like smushing 2 tasks together and creating my own different task, but whatever, it was fine. And then the check-ins, I thought that the check-in would be like a bit more detailed, but it was literally like, how did your morning pages go? How did your artist date go? Anything else? So if that's the check-in every week, then great, less work. But we are now on week 2. And the one thing that I think isn't resonating with me yet, currently, I don't know, is the actual text in the book. So like morning pages, fine, like I'm going to do them and I'm sure I'll like get something out of them. Like there is a catharsis there, I'll admit. Artist dates, I'm thrilled about, so excited about. And then the tasks is kind of like, we'll see, but it's just about carving out the time to do them and then doing them. And it's one of those things where it's like, it feels like homework, where you don't want to do it, and then like once you sit down and do it, you're like, that wasn't so bad. That was fine. Actually, maybe it was quite fun. At least that's how I feel about homework. But the thing I'm struggling with is just actually like reading the book. So like each chapter kind of has a theme and she like talks about it. It's kind of a bit like a creative pep talk that she's giving you at the beginning of each week. But I'm not relating to these things that she's talking about that are like barriers for artists. And then that creates this like voice in my head being like, well, if you can't relate to these struggles, then you're not actually a creative. Like you're not actually an artist or a creative person or whatever. And I'm like, what's happening here? Like, am I actually right? Because I'm like reading these things and I'm like, I don't relate to that. That's not something that I worry about or struggle with. But is that because I'm so far removed from my creative self that because I don't even identify as a creative person, I can't have the struggles of a creative person? Or am I just lucky and I just don't have these struggles? Like chapter 2 was mostly about these people she calls crazy makers, which are essentially just like people who attract drama in their lives and are very demanding and have no sense of other people's boundaries and will, you know, take advantage of you. And it seems like it's very exhausting to have one of these people in your lives, but also they might be like a creative guru kind of person who you admire, but then also they just like suck your life force out of you. Or they might be a friend or a family member or whatever. And I'm reading this and I'm like, no, I've got no crazy maker in my life, which is a great position to be in. Like that's wonderful. That's like good for me that I don't have to deal with something like that in my life. But then I'm just like, okay, so this chapter is just irrelevant to me. I'm just like reading all of this stuff about crazy makers are expert blamers. Crazy makers hate schedules except their own. Crazy makers hate order. Crazy makers create drama, but seldom where they belong. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to take from that other than, great, I don't have a crazy maker in my life. Good for me. But I guess like these are all kind of like about barriers to creativity. And so like, I guess if I have less barriers, then I should be an amazing creative person. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know. But yeah. And the other thing is that even though she said at the beginning, like to take or leave the God stuff, I kind of thought that might be the end of it. But it's very there. And I do struggle. I have a block. Even when I'm like, oh, I know I can replace God with the universe or whatever resonates with me. And I'm like, what resonates with me? I don't know. But that's how I'm going with the book so far. I'm excited for the artist dates. Let's be real. That's what I'm here for. It is Thursday afternoon, week 2, and it's time for my artist date. My sister got me this cookbook for Christmas and I went through it last night and I've decided to make courgette and halloumi fritters. I just been to the shops and got some stuff and I'm excited. Dan and I did a lot of like fun cooking experiments during lockdown and we haven't had a lot of time to do that, and I love spending a bit more time cooking, baking, where I'm not rushed because I'm trying to get dinner on the table. And then of course I also asked my sister for a cookbook for Christmas, and I hate the idea of just having this cookbook sat there and me not using it. So having an artist date is a perfect opportunity to pick something and cook it. And I'm also excited to cook something vegetarian as well. I've got my headphones in because I'm gonna listen to some podcasts, maybe my audiobook, and just have a lovely afternoon that results in hopefully tasty food. Well, they certainly don't look as appetizing as in the book, but do they ever? Let's try one of these because I'm kind of hungry, and we're gonna dip it in our tzatziki. Yeah. I mean, it's fried food. Got a kick of the chili. I probably could have put in more chili. I was scared, so I put in less chili than it says, but they're good. I will say though, in terms of like artist date success, I was bored. I actually have like half, maybe more than half of the mixture left. I just made 8, but I could make loads more, but I couldn't be bothered because I was bored. Even though I'm listening to my audiobook and having a lovely time with that, it just wasn't, the process of cooking these like wasn't really doing it for me, and I have some theories as to why. So I can very happily bake by myself. That is my happy place. I'm currently listening to a book called Happy Place. And I think the reason why is because there's like an easy end point to the work that you do, and then you shove it in the oven and then you get to wait and relax or like tidy up and all of that kind of stuff. Whereas when you're cooking something like this, you're just stood there frying things over and over and over again. Like the actual cooking process, you have to be super present for and stood up working. And I don't mind that when there are other people around. Like for Hanukkah, me and my sister made latkes, and it's essentially the same thing but potato and onion, and that was so fun because my sister was there and my mum was there and Rowan was there, and like we were all there, and cooking was like this thing. Whereas as a solo artist date, I think I would much prefer to do some baking, like a cake, maybe like try and make a bread. I've never really like gone down the bread route yet. Whereas this is something that actually, whilst it is tasty, the outcome is really good. I was just bored. And journey before destination, folks. So that's kind of like an interesting thing. I never would have like known that about myself or been able to articulate that about myself before. But good to know. Good to know. So when it comes to having like positive artist day experiences, I can't just pick things that I know I like doing. It has to be things that I'm gonna like doing alone. And it turns out frying food is not something that I enjoy doing alone. Oh shit, but they taste good. They really do taste very, very good. And you know what? Now that I've made the mix, I'm so excited for later to like make some more with Dan. Like, that's exciting to me. Hey, lesson learned. Good food was made. I made a dent in my audiobook. It's time for a bit of an Artist's Way update. Today is Monday, the start of week 4. But let's talk about week 3 first, and just how things are going generally. So I did rewatch the Elizabeth Gilbert Your Elusive Creative Genius TED Talk, and that did really help me to figure out what my version of what Julie Cameron's talking about when she's all like God and the creator and like creative energy and all of that kind of stuff that no thank you. And the Elizabeth Gilbert talk is like a little woo-woo, but in a way that makes sense to me. Like I think that's kind of like my limit. But the thing that I really like about her framing of that, you don't have creative geniuses, you have a creative genie. So it's like a person isn't a genius, a person has a genie that's on loan to them. But the way that that works with creativity, it kind of means that it's not a fixed thing, and it kind of explains how you can get like bursts of creative inspiration. And I love how she talks about it in relation to your ego and your psyche and mental health, in terms of like, if what you create is a real success and you can't take full credit for it because there was some like woo-woo creative energy like flowing through you when you made that thing, but equally, if it was a flop, if it's really terrible, then you're not entirely to blame. It's not your fault. And I like that. I'm getting on better with the themes of the week. I just think week 2 just didn't vibe with me at all, whereas week 3 and 4, the actual like text in the book, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's my creative pep talk for the week. But I don't know, it's still not like, oh my gosh, this is life-changing. But the voice in my head is always telling me, well, of course you can't relate to this, Hannah, because you're not a real artist. Part of me is like, yeah, that's true. I don't know how to explain it. Is this the inner battle that we're going to go through over these 12 weeks of like my self-identity as an artist or a creative person? Like, I am creative in my work all of the time, but I don't define myself as an artist. And so I don't relate to a lot of the things. Anyway, maybe that's more to work through in another week. Who knows? But in week 3, I went on my artist date to the Shakespeare Globe. I was hanging out with a friend, and then when we parted ways, we were by South Bank, and I booked myself onto a guided tour, and it was so good. I've never been to the Globe before. I did have tickets to see Midsummer Night's Dream last summer, and then I had like a bad mental health day and just didn't go, and I regretted it the next day because it would have made me feel better, but because I was feeling low, I didn't want to go out. I hate that cycle that you can get into. So now I'm even more determined to see a show there, but the tour was so cool, really interesting to hear the history of the original Globe and then like how they built this current one. And there were some students rehearsing on the stage whilst we were there, which was very cool. I kind of got really emotional like walking in there because I love theatre. My dad's a theatre professor, and acting and drama is always something that I did at school. And so walking into my home, loved it. Update on the morning pages. I have been doing them every single day. Look at this. This is how far through this notepad I am. And we're only at the beginning of week 4, so I think I'm gonna have to get another notepad. But this is also me having reduced it from 3 pages to 2 pages. Because it was not possible, guys. It was not possible. And the time of day that I do these also changes. So my dream scenario, and it has been accomplished a few times, is that I do my morning pages like secretly in bed by phone light before Rowan, who is asleep next to me, wakes up. But that is entirely out of my control. If I don't manage to get it done then the next best time is to do it once I'm back from drop off, and I do it before I start work. All bets are off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because those are like the full-time parenting days. And even though Dan is obviously also around on Saturday and Sunday, it's just a complete free-for-all. So I'll often do the pages like when Dan's looking after Rowan at a different time, or like during Rowan's nap. It's not morning pages, okay? I think it's probably morning pages like 70% of the time. And then it's first thing in the morning pages before I do anything else, like 10 to 20% of the time. But I am enjoying doing them. I think when there is something that I need to like work my head around, it's really good just to like brain dump, and that's been really useful. But for the most part, it is like a diary entry, and I talk about Rowan a lot. It's just all what's Rowan up to, what's his sleep like, how tired am I? That's what it's mostly about. And I was thinking like, why is it that my morning pages is just me like going off about Rowan? And maybe I need that because as a parent, he's always going to be like at the forefront of my mind. Like he's always going to be priority number one. And then in order for me to like go about my day and be a human outside of being a mum, I need my morning pages just to like write out everything that I'm thinking and feeling about Rowan, how his night's sleep was, how is he feeling, is he ill, like what is going on, what was the cute thing that he said that day, or whatever it is. And then it's down and I've got it out of me, and then I can continue. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it. But I'm going to continue talking to you whilst I add some of my Patreon stickers to the front of this notebook because it's looking sad and this is what I want to do. Okay, we're on week 4, guys. Week 4 is the reading deprivation week. Now, this book was written in the 90s, and so she only talks about reading deprivation, but from a little peruse of online, Reddit, and also her website where she's done like updated FAQs, a lot of people tend to do a media deprivation week. It's kind of about limiting your input. But here's the thing, I think she's very biased towards the medium of writing because she's a writer herself. So for her, as a writer, then you want to limit your reading input because you're being influenced or exposed to other people's work. Because in her book, she says listening to music is fine, but that made me think like, what if you're a musician? What if your art is music? Like how does that help you? Because you're meant to be cutting things off. Anyway, I don't know. So I've decided, in the spirit of it being like a deprivation and kind of related to my own art, I'm not going to be consuming YouTube, social media, also reading, no books, no audiobooks, sad, and no TV, no films, all of that. I am listening to music because she said I can, and I'm not a musician, so it's fine. The thing is that I'm having an amazing time at the moment creating on social media, and so I've not deleted any of the apps, and I still have to work, but my plan is to get in, get out. Get in, make the thing, post the thing, get out. And so far that's been okay. It's just going to take like a bit more discipline than if I just deleted the apps entirely. The other thing that I have done in preparation for this week is I have bought myself a puzzle mat roll-up thing. Ta-da! So I've got some jigsaw puzzles, one of them being the one that I started the day I went into labour with Rowan, and obviously never finished. And I love jigsaws. So I've got a London A to Z one, and then I've got a London tube map ones. I've got other jigsaws that are at my parents' house that I have completed. These two I have not. They're both 1,000 pieces, and I've got my roll-up mat, and it just means that I can do it on the floor or on the table, and then I can roll it away. I can roll it away and then continue it. And so that's gonna be my main activity of the week. And then maybe if Dan wants to play some card games or board games with me in the evening, that'll be it. I'm not super worried about not being able to stick to it. I'm sad about not being able to listen to my books or podcasts, but generally I'm like excited about my jigsaw puzzles. Oh, the sun has entered. Oh my God. Hi. I wanted just to share one more thing with you about week 4. So this was in the text for this chapter. Apparently reading this book doesn't count as reading, whatever, Julie. And this part really stood out to me. It was the first time I really felt like she was talking to me rather than some artist that I felt separate from. So it says, "Nothing dramatic is happening to me. I don't think the process is working. I have often been told by someone who, from my perspective, is changing at the speed of light. The analogy that I use is that once we engage in the process of morning pages and artist dates, we begin to move at such velocity that we do not even realize the pace, just as travelers on a jet are seldom aware of their speed, unless they hit a patch of turbulence, blah, 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 blah." So like that quotation bit is definitely me. Am I actually changing at the speed of light? I'm not sure. But that was interesting that she called me out on that. Another bit that resonated says, many areas of your life that previously seemed to fit will stop fitting. Half your wardrobe may start to look funny. You may decide to reupholster a couch or just toss it out. Musical bents may alter. There may even be bursts of spontaneous singing, dancing, running. You may find your candor unsettling. I don't like that is a sentence that will leave your mouth, or I think that's great. In short, your tastes and judgments and personal identity will begin to show through. Exhibit A. I have always been not that confident in my taste when it comes to interior design, but putting this together, finding these, which I found separately, Facebook Marketplace, Etsy, this unlocked something in me, or something had been unlocked in me that allowed me to find this and envision this and bring it to reality. And when I read that, my immediate thought was, the lamp, Hannah, the lamp. So that's very silly, but those are my updates. I am now going to try and not go mad this week and do some jigsaws. I'll update you on how they go. I also think that jigsawing solo is gonna have to be my artist date this week. I think that counts. In other news, I start therapy this week, so it's all happening. Week 4 artist date. I may have started this jigsaw last night. I'm basically just gonna have lots of mini artist dates this week, and I'm gonna say that that counts. So yes, the puzzle has begun. Can I finish it by the end of this week? That's the real question. Well, maybe, because my mother is coming to visit, and so we won't be able to watch shows together, and I've already warned her about that, and she loves a puzzle. She loves a puzzle. But yes, my roll-up mat seems to have worked well, and now we continue. I've got just over an hour before I have a call. I mean, artist day is meant to be interrupted. I don't know, this is all intentional, so it's not like an accidental interruption. And then after said call, I've got another hour until I need to go pick up Rowan. And I've got nothing else on my to-do list. So I'm just having a great time. And you know what? I'm very grateful for these artist dates, because obviously one of my goals and one of my priorities at the beginning of this year was like rest and leisure. And I think without the structure of the artist dates, I could have so easily filled that time with work. But because I'm doing the artist's way, it's like, no, I have to do my artist date. I have to set aside this time. And so my rest and leisure and kind of like just doing things for me time has kind of combined with the artist dates, which I love. Like, it's a Tuesday afternoon and I'm doing a puzzle because I quit my job at the end of last year and I've got all of this free time that I want to make the most of before my new job makes me busy again. Puzzle time, let's go! Okay, central London is looking pretty good. I'm really pleased with that. I've also got little bits of west and north, bits of east that are connected to central, exciting. I'm not using a tube map to do this. I feel like this should be possible to do just from the pieces and from my brain. There's all of these pieces that are all just like the tube sign at different stations, and I need to figure out exactly where they go. I think I'm at the point now where instead of just rummaging and finding a piece that I'm like, oh, I know what that is, and trying to place it, I now need to start just like collecting lines, because there's some lines that I'm like, I don't know the name of any of the stations on that line. The Met line, no idea. The tram lines that are in South, a lot of the overground. And the overground is going to be tricky as well, because the overground sort of like circles London. So I'll get an overground piece and I'll be like, I think I recognise southeast stations on the overground and east. But anything else, tricky. Yeah, the district to Hammersmith and City line, once they get like far out, is going to be difficult for me. The Piccadilly line branch that goes not to Heathrow, what is there? What is there? I don't know. The central line, once it goes beyond Shepherd's Bush and Stratford, what happens? I don't know. Is there even people there? I think that's the next strategy that we need to move on to. I need to figure out what to do with these pieces, because these pieces are currently occupying where southeast London is.
pretty pleased with my progress that I've made on my artist date. It's looking good. I also keep finding random pieces from an entirely different puzzle in there. That's because my mum found this and bought it for me in a charity shop. So who even knows if all of the pieces are present? I don't know. We'll find out. But it's looking good and slightly chaotic. It's been so long since I've done a puzzle. I love puzzles. Maybe I'll become a puzzle YouTuber. This is how I've spent my evening. It's been good. It's been very good. I've been standing up. That's how you know you've gotten to serious puzzle territory, is when you're standing doing a puzzle. And actually I can feel my muscles aching. But it is late, and so I need to roll this up. Thank you, Dan. And roll it up and go to bed. The final 2 pieces. One. There are 2 pieces missing, an edge piece and part of Metropolitan line, but that's what you get for a £2 charity shop find, which wasn't actually my mum. It was Dan who got me this. Turns out, credit where credit's due. Thanks, Mum, for helping.
Thank you. Right.
Uh-oh.
What's next?
Let's tell it. Dropped. Good evening. It is the Sunday evening of my reading deprivation week, and I'm calling it. I'm calling it because I'm home alone with the toddler, with Rowan. Dan is away on holiday for a week, lucky sod. And yeah, my mum has been here the last 2 nights. She left today, and now I've got 4 nights solo parenting, and then my dad is coming. But this is my first night alone. It's the last night of week 4, and I mean, all I've really got to show for myself is a jigsaw. And I'm just gonna eat some chocolate and probably watch some YouTube, and I think that's fine. The reading deprivation has been a weird one for me because I'm not entirely sure what the benefits were supposed to be. Because the only benefit I really see is that I spent the entire week doing a jigsaw, which I don't normally have time for, and it's a fun activity for me. But I've missed reading, listening to my books, reading my books. Like, I see no benefit in me depriving myself of that because I'm not a writer. I'm not planning to write any fiction books, so I don't see the harm in that. I've snoozed every single one of the newsletters that have come into my inbox, and so now I'm dreading when they're all gonna hit. I mean, I want to catch up on them all, but it now feels like a bigger task than it would have been. YouTube, I've not massively missed watching. Like, it's not been hard for me to not watch this week, but I am excited to be like, let's just chill out and watch some YouTube videos, you know? I've missed watching TV with Dan in the evenings. I need to catch up. I need to watch The Traitors season 2. Social media was probably the hardest one, but I've done like weeks off social media before. I think what was hard about the social media one this time around was I kept the apps, mainly Instagram, on my phone because I was still posting. And even on a day where I wasn't posting, or even when I wasn't going to be posting, my reflex is to open that app. And then also in the evenings when I'm getting Rowan down to sleep, and so I'm like lying with him and I'm breastfeeding him, he's fallen asleep but he's still latched. Like, I scroll on my phone then. Like, what I do in that time, because I'm so bored, is I look at my phone. And the fact that I couldn't look at social media and I couldn't read newsletters, because that's like the time when I do that shit, is when I'm like breastfeeding Rowan to sleep, was infuriating. I was just like, what am I supposed to do? What do I do? Luckily, this week was a week where instead of it taking 40 minutes for Rowan to fall asleep, it took like 10. So that helped. The fact that, like, if I had to be lying there for 30 minutes whilst Rowan like was half asleep but not letting me escape yet, without being able to like do anything on my phone, oh my god. The things that I found myself doing on my phone were like going on Zoopla, or like I reopened Dawdle, Quordle and Octordle. I deleted the main mobile game that I'd been playing before at the beginning of this year, so I didn't even have that to play. It was a sad time. Anyway, yeah, I don't really know what to make of the reading deprivation. The only things I like 100% stayed off with like TV, film and YouTube, and newsletters and reading. like actual reading. Like this, actually, there you go. I basically 100% stayed off everything other than social media. Social media was the one that like I got in drips and drabs when I was like opening the app to post something or whatever. But I never scrolled. If I saw myself like staring and like reaching to like open someone's stories, I'd be like, no, close the app. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna chill out, prepare myself for the week and stick on some YouTube. Like, otherwise I don't know what the hell I would do with myself this evening. I'm not gonna start a new puzzle and I'm so tired. I just want to sit on the sofa. If I had some knitting needles and some wool, maybe that's what I'd do, but I don't, so YouTube is. Oh my god, it feels good to be able to listen to my book again on walks. I didn't get a chance to do my morning pages this morning before I dropped Rowan off, so I'm going to do it now. Also, Rowan had a fun time drawing in my book. Look at that, what an artistic genius child I have. So yeah, morning pages, and then this morning I'm doing my artist date. I love dancing and learning choreography, and I wanted to do some of that, but I don't know what dances to learn choreography to. So the other thing that I love is just cardio dancing, where you just like follow along the choreography rather than like having to learn it and memorize it. And so I'm gonna do MK Fit's like hit dance workout, like the Eras Tour Taylor Swift one. I'm very excited. I've not showered this morning. I'm like fully prepped. I've got my workout gear on. I'm gonna do my morning pages and then I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna shower and get ready for the rest of the day. It's gonna be fun. I don't remember the last time I did any like dancing. It's gonna be good. I'm genuinely so sweaty right now, so shower time and on with my day. But yeah, that definitely, like, I don't know, it reminded me of my love of learning dance and learning choreography and stuff, so I might have to like scratch that itch properly at some point. As we are halfway through the artist's way, and this video is getting long, I'm going to end things here for now, but do not worry, there will be a part 2, so don't forget to subscribe or whatever so you don't miss it. It will probably be coming out in a few weeks. It won't be next week's video, but it'll be coming out soon, and so you'll get to see how the second half of this whole process went. Do I get over the God stuff? Can I figure out morning pages? How many more fun and exciting artist dates do I go on? But thank you so much for watching. I hope you've been enjoying this video so far, and I'm curious to hear in the comments if you've ever done the artist way, tried it, attempted it, given up on it, done it the whole way through. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, and also if you have any other like ideas or things that you would want to do for artist dates, then pop them in the comments because I need more ideas. I always need more ideas for this, but also in life. I hope that you're all doing well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!